Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. So just in case you're wondering what punishment you'll get for holding a knife to a woman's throat in the middle of the afternoon while an accomplice wrenches her foster child from her car, bundles the child into another car with a waiting getaway driver and false number plates, and attempting to transport the child to a ferry port with the intention of removing them from the country until they grow into an adult, in an incident which took several months of pre-planning and conspiring, the answer is 17 years in prison. That's the punishment you'll get, and that's what Wilfred Wong, the super truther, has just learned. I have to say that's pretty close to what I thought, due to the use of the knife and the fact that it was a heavily premeditated crime which involved a child. I did think that he might actually get life if the court wanted to make an example of him, with possibly a minimum term of around 14 years, but 17 years isn't that far off. It's not life, so that's not a minimum tariff, but for such a serious offence it means that he will have to do 2/3 of that sentence, as far as my understanding goes, so he should be out in around about 10 years, as he's already spent some time in prison. Now, maybe you support the actions of Wilfred Wong and co. I know a few people do. Maybe you think that everything they did sounds absolutely fine. Or maybe you think Wilfred Wong's a dangerous man who deserves to be in prison for the safety of children and adults, as do all his co-defendants. But no matter which side you're on, you have to admit that this may be the ultimate example of playing stupid games to win stupid prizes, because there was no way they were going to get away with this, and the top prize was 17 years, with 2.5 to run concurrently for the possession of the knife used in the kidnap attempt. So first prize out of the stupid prizes was given to Wilfred Wong, as I just mentioned, and the second stupid prize was 15 years in prison. That was handed out to Janet Stevenson. Third prize was 14.5 years. That went to Anke Hill. And the getaway driver, Edward Stevenson, was slapped with 8 years. We've also got Christine Ellis Petley, a 58-year-old woman who was given a 4-year prison sentence for acting as a lookout for the gang, which shows you just can't get involved in this kind of stuff. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that, but you just cannot get involved in the slightest way in these kinds of conspiracies. She's now going to be doing at least 2 years in prison, and apparently she is not having a good time in prison. According to her lawyer, she's been tarred with the nonce label, and although she's not a sexual offender, I'm not really sure that saying, "No, you've got it all wrong, I'm only here for facilitating the kidnapping of a child at Knifepoint," I'm not really sure that's going to do much to assuage the concerns of your fellow prisoners, to be honest. So yeah, these are the consequences of one's actions, and I suspect she'll be having a rough time in prison, even now that they know the details of the case. Possibly especially now that they know the details of the case, and I would think that that would go for everyone that's been convicted, to be honest. Now, most of the perpetrators have expressed remorse and apologised for their part in what they initially claimed was a rescue attempt, but I don't see why they would apologise if they really thought they were rescuing a child. But there you go. It seems that the defence for some of these people was actually claiming that there's some level of manipulation going on by Anke Hill, who was described in court as overbearing, assertive and very intense. It was said that she groomed some of the others and that she misled Wilfred Wong with misinformation. This is supposedly the network of child rescuers we're talking about here, and they're all just admitting to the fact that they just went on the say-so of this woman without any evidence. When it went to court, it sounds like this tight unit dissolved even further, and they all just started blaming Anke Hill. It actually sounds like Anke Hill was the one who wanted the child, and the others just went along with it for their own reasons, possibly well-meaning, possibly manipulated, or possibly just for narcissistic reasons such as wanting to feel like a hero. There's probably multiple different versions of different reasons in each of these people's heads for why they actually did this. But the lesson is perhaps to never underestimate the power of an overbearing woman. I don't know. That was the court's words, not mine. Now, the father of the child, a man who cannot be named for legal reasons, but has been doxxed and vilified online by supporters of Wilfred Wong and other super truthers, he stood up in court and explained how his life has been ruined by false allegations that he's a paedophile and a Satanist. We are told that there's no evidence of either of these things, no evidence of any wrongdoing by this man at all, and the fact that he stood up in court and outlined the accusations against him lends a little bit of credibility to that possibility. He also said in court that Anke Hill, the aforementioned overbearing and intense woman, tried to have him executed by a hitman. She apparently offered £10,000 to someone to do the deed. So if that's true, then I would say that this woman does deserve to be in prison. It probably is the right place for her. Maybe for her own safety as well as that of other people. There's a certain type of person that can't really make their way through life without ending up in prison for a long time, and this Anke Hill sounds like one of those people. And as it turns out, the entire gang is made up of these people. But the rescue mission suggestion has really fallen apart. It seems more like the gang could see that they were manipulated, probably over the internet, to do this. And it does make me wonder how much manipulation was actually taking place on YouTube and in Facebook groups and things like that. It's quite a creepy thought. Now, Wilfred Wong, as you may remember, initially tried to claim that he knew nothing of the whole thing and just coincidentally bumped into the other conspirators on the day. For all his training as a barrister, he seems to have forgotten that CCTV is a thing that exists, and he was caught on CCTV because it's a thing that exists. There's nowhere you can really go in the UK without being caught on CCTV. He can be seen here catching up with one of the other conspirators, Jane Going Hill, and you can see Jane Going Hill going up the hill there at the right. In fact, they were all caught on CCTV. This is Edward and Janet Stevenson, a long-married couple who between them got 23 years in prison. This is them beside the getaway car, which was used to kidnap the child, and I believe it's the one that has false number plates on it. And it's quite scary how normal and boring these people look while knowing that they were about to enact a totally batshit crazy plan. Edward Stevenson there got 8 years, and his wife got 15 years. And unfortunately, these kinds of mild-mannered appearances is what has led to a sizable minority of people believing that they are totally innocent of any wrongdoing. And I suspect it's because they can't handle the idea that dangerous people can look so normal. Or maybe it's an uncomfortable idea for them that anybody can turn dangerous. But if you've got any sympathy for them, I think it's best just to understand that they're facing the consequences of their own actions. They're adults. They must have known on some level that there was a possibility of getting caught doing this, so now they're facing the consequences of their actions. They're old enough to handle it. But think about the child that was wrenched from the carer's car. It had to sit in the footwell of that vehicle for hundreds of miles before the car got boxed in by the police in an actual rescue mission. You should also spare a thought for the foster mother who simply wanted to foster children and ended up having a knife held to her throat by Wilfred Wong as a screaming child was taken from her. So I think it's probably wise to direct your sympathy in the right place when it comes to this. The people who've gone to jail will be fine. They knew what they were doing. They happened to get caught. They tried to get away with it. It does make one wonder if they've got away with it before. The confidence and the level of planning that went into this was high. But these sentences bring this whole Wilfred Wong child kidnap saga to something of a conclusion for now at least. But who knows what will come out in the future. It's been an interesting case to follow. I've been following it since November on this channel, and it seems that we've really had a glimpse into a world which most of us never imagined was a thing, where these super truthers do the rounds on podcasts and tote their expertise in satanic matters while we all watch them as some kind of strange Jerry Springer style entertainment / education / what the hell is this? While in the background, away from the studio lights and the super chats and the familiar host, all manner of dark and seedy plans are being formed, and the viewers don't know about it. The viewers haven't got a clue about it. Although there is some suggestion by some people that they may leave clues. These people may enjoy and even relish hiding in plain sight, which is why they may have podcasts about topics such as child abuse, and they might leave little crumbs of information in there. On that point, I will leave you a clip of one of Wilfred Wong's statements on the Sean Attwood podcast, which was filmed months before Mr. Wong's arrest, months before his kidnap incident, where, in my opinion, Mr. Wong seems to have a bit of a smirk on his face as he states exactly how to make a child go missing. And with hindsight, this is setting off more than a few alarm bells in my mind. It certainly looks as if this could be a crumb that is being dropped in plain sight here. It's a foreshadowing of the incident for which he's been now jailed for 17 years, and it really does put me in the camp of people that think this may well have been done before. So I'll play the clip now and let me know what you think.
It's become so bad that at the moment, the only way a mother who wants to protect her child from an abusive spouse or abusive partner is to take the child and flee the country and just hide in a very, very thorough way, never to be found, at least not until the child has grown up to adulthood.
Very sus, as the kids have appropriated as their own word, even though we were saying sus back in the 90s, but never mind. So thank you very much to the person who drew my attention to that clip. You know who you are, and I do appreciate you getting in touch with me and giving me that. But I'm going to leave this video there. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit me up on Odyssey and brand YouTube. Much appreciated to those of you who are subscribing over there. You never know when it really is going to become essential to be subscribed over there, because life on YouTube is hanging by a thread at all times for all people. But let me know your thoughts on this story or anything else in the comments down below. As promised, all the Wilfred Wong videos have had the comment sections reopened as well, so you can go and comment on them if you so wish. Feel free to go nuts, just don't go too nuts, don't go full Wilfred Wong. So anyway folks, I'm going to leave that one there. Hope you enjoyed this little roundup of information regarding Wilfred Wong's sentencing, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.
The way the Satanists operate, they tend to be very ambitious. They tend to think big in evil terms. So they usually have bigger plans of evil to implement than what we see now. But this is for the future.